The stars were calm that night, stretching endlessly across the black sky. Captain Daniel Raines of the Earth Space Fleet stood on the observation deck of the warship Horizon. His hands rested on the railing as he watched the distant shimmer of unknown planets. Humanity had ventured far into the galaxy now, and yet each new mission brought uncertainty and sometimes danger. This mission was supposed to be routine, charting the borders of the newly discovered Elara system. No conflict was expected, but Daniel knew that in space, routine was always an illusion. Strange signals had been picked up by the ship's sensors earlier, faint but unusual. Something alive was out there, moving in ways that did not match any known species. "Captain," a voice called from behind. Lieutenant Mara Kim approached, her brow furrowed with curiosity. "Sensors are showing a moving life form near the fourth planet. It's humanoid, but different. We've never seen readings like this before." Daniel nodded. "Keep us at a safe distance. I want a full scan before we make any approach. And Mara, be ready for anything." The Horizon drifted closer to the planet, its sleek hull reflecting the dim light of a nearby star. As the crew monitored the readings, the life form came into view, and Daniel could hardly believe his eyes. Standing on the rocky surface of the planet was a figure unlike any human or alien species recorded before. She was humanoid in shape, with slender limbs and unusual iridescent skin that shimmered in the sunlight. Her eyes were large and bright, with colors that seemed to change with her emotions. Long, flowing hair floated slightly in the planet's thin atmosphere, as if alive. "She's beautiful," Mara whispered, "but she's alone, and she's looking right at us." Daniel felt a chill. The alien girl raised one hand slowly, a gesture of greeting or perhaps a warning. The scanners confirmed what he already suspected. She was intelligent, aware, and possibly stronger than she looked. "Open a communication channel," Daniel ordered. "Let's see if we can talk." The crew worked quickly, transmitting a universal greeting. At first, there was no response. Then, faintly, a voice echoed back, not in words they could understand, but in tones and pitches that somehow conveyed emotion. The ship's AI struggled to translate it, but the meaning became clear: curiosity, challenge, awareness. The alien girl was not hostile, but she was testing them. She moved with speed, darting across the rocky terrain as if daring the humans to follow. Daniel's instincts told him this was no ordinary encounter. He had faced hostile alien species before, but this was different. She was studying them, gauging their reactions, almost inviting interaction. "Captain," Mara said, pointing at the monitors, "her movements are precise. She's fast. Faster than any human I've tracked. If she wants to challenge us, she could easily outrun us or outfight us." Daniel's mind raced. He respected strength and skill even in a potential opponent. Humanity had survived against long odds because of ingenuity, courage, and determination. He couldn't allow fear to stop him. "We'll do this carefully," he said. "I want to understand her. No aggressive moves unless she attacks. And we'll need someone agile. Mara, suit up. You're going down to the surface." Mara's eyes widened. "Me? Sir? Are you sure?" "I trust your skills. And besides," Daniel said with a small smile, "you're the best we have for first contact in tricky situations. Remember, this is not a fight. It's a test, and humanity always accepts a challenge." Mara nodded, determination settling on her face. Soon she was suited and stepping into the drop pod that would take her to the planet below. Daniel watched as the pod detached from the horizon, plummeting toward the rocky terrain. He felt a mix of pride and unease. This encounter could mark the start of friendship or conflict. On the surface, Mara landed smoothly. The alien girl was waiting. She turned slowly, eyes gleaming, and gestured toward a narrow canyon nearby. It was clear. This was an invitation, not a threat, but a challenge. Mara approached cautiously, hands open to show she meant no harm. The alien girl's speed became evident as she suddenly sprinted forward, then stopped, looking back at Mara with what could only be described as a playful smirk. The movement was almost like a game. Mara realized quickly that brute strength would not win here. This would require intelligence, agility, and quick thinking. Mara mirrored the alien's movements, ducking behind boulders, leaping over uneven terrain, testing her own speed and reflexes. The alien girl responded with equal skill, shifting her weight gracefully, twisting, and turning in ways that seemed impossible. Yet despite the clear advantage in speed, Mara relied on tactics and observation. She noticed patterns in the alien's movements, pauses, hesitations, repeated gestures. Daniel watched from orbit, fascinated. "She's brilliant," he muttered, "and she's giving Mara a real test." Hours passed as the chase continued. Neither combatant struck. It was a game of skill, endurance, and mental acuity. Mara began to understand the alien's rhythm, anticipating her movements and finding opportunities to match her speed. Slowly, a silent communication formed between them. No words, only gestures, pauses, and shared recognition of each other's abilities. Finally, both paused atop a cliff, breathing heavily. Mara looked at the alien girl and smiled. The alien tilted her head, eyes gleaming with approval. She extended a hand, not in attack, but in acknowledgement. Mara took it, feeling a surge of relief and triumph. This was more than first contact. It was the beginning of mutual respect. Daniel allowed himself a rare smile. Humanity had a reputation for courage and ingenuity, and here it was, proving itself again, not through weapons or power, but through adaptability and understanding. He knew that encounters like this were rare, but essential. They defined who humans were in the galaxy. As Mara returned to the drop pod, the alien girl watched silently from the cliff's edge. There was no hostility, only curiosity and a spark of excitement, as if the real challenge was only beginning. Back on the horizon, Mara removed her helmet, breathing heavily but exhilarated. "She's incredible, sir," she said. "Faster than anything I've faced. But she respects skill. She respects humans." Daniel nodded. "And that, Mara, is what makes humanity special. We're not just strong or fast. We're clever. We adapt. We learn. And we never back down from a challenge, even from someone like her." The alien girl, somewhere below on the planet, looked up at the ship, studying it as the humans retreated to a safe distance. Daniel knew this was not the end of the encounter. It was the beginning. A new chapter in humanity's journey through the stars, where challenges came in forms both unexpected and extraordinary. As the stars stretched overhead, Daniel and his crew prepared for what would come next. They had made contact with a being unlike any other, a being that could have been dangerous, but instead, she had tested them. And humanity had passed, not by force, but by spirit, skill, and courage. And somewhere on that distant, rocky planet, the alien girl smiled, readying herself for the next challenge. The next day, the sun rose over the rocky plains of the Aelara system's fourth planet. Captain Daniel Rains observed from the horizon, a sense of anticipation gripping him. Humanity had made first contact with an alien being unlike any other. But contact alone was not enough. They needed understanding. And for that, Daniel trusted Mara to continue the encounter. "Captain," Mara said over the communicator, her voice steady though tinged with excitement, "I'm ready to meet her again. Yesterday's encounter. It was only the beginning. I think she wants more than a test. She wants to understand us, or challenge us further." Daniel nodded. "Stay alert. Remember, Mara, Every action is a message. Humanity is not just about strength. It's about cleverness, courage, and honor. Show her who we are, but do it safely. The drop pod descended once more, landing near the canyon where Mara had first met the alien girl. As the hatch opened, she stepped onto the rocky surface, scanning the area. The alien was already there, waiting at the edge of a cliff, arms folded, eyes observing every movement Mara made. This time, the alien's intentions were clear. It was a test, but a different one. Not just speed and agility, but intelligence and creativity. She moved first, darting between rocks and boulders with incredible grace, leaving behind small trails of shimmering dust from the planet's unique minerals. Mara studied the patterns carefully. "She's not just fast," she muttered. "She's strategic. Every movement has a purpose. She's teaching me something or challenging me to think." Mara began to match the alien's movements, leaping and sliding, using the terrain to her advantage. She noticed how the alien girl paused at certain points, seemingly expecting Mara to take the same route or make the same decisions. It was like a game of chess played in motion, across the canyon and cliffs. As the chase continued, Mara realized the alien girl was testing more than physical skill. She was testing problem-solving. At one point, the canyon split into two narrow paths, one steep and direct, the other winding but safer. Mara hesitated, calculating her options. The alien girl waited, as if inviting her to make the choice. Mara chose the winding path, using her knowledge of terrain and balance to move safely. The alien girl nodded approvingly, then took the steep path with astonishing precision, arriving at the same point moments later. Mara smiled. They were learning from each other without words. From orbit, Daniel and the crew watched the interaction with fascination. "Humans adapt," Daniel said quietly. "We always have. And she's pushing them to think, to adapt. She respects that. This is exactly the kind of encounter that defines our place in the galaxy." Hours passed. The sun climbed higher, casting long shadows across the canyon. The alien girl suddenly stopped, raising her hand as if signaling Mara to halt. Mara approached cautiously. The alien extended an object, a small, smooth crystal that glowed faintly. Mara picked it up carefully. The crystal was light, warm to the touch, and seemed to pulse with energy. She glanced at the alien girl, who tilted her head, eyes bright with meaning. It was not a weapon. It was a token, a symbol, perhaps a sign of trust or acknowledgement. Daniel's voice came through the communicator. "Mara, be careful. That could be a test of judgment. Handle it with respect." Mara nodded. "Understood, sir. I think she's showing me something important. Something about how she views challenges and respect." With the crystal in hand, Mara returned to the alien girl, who seemed to study her expression, searching for understanding. Mara extended her hand in a gesture of friendship, and after a moment, the alien mirrored her action. Their fingers met briefly, not touching in a harmful way, but in acknowledgement. Mara felt a strange warmth, a connection that went beyond words or species. The alien girl then motioned toward a cliff edge, signaling Mara to follow. Suspicious but intrigued, Mara carefully navigated the rocks and boulders. At the top, she found herself looking out over a valley filled with strange flora that glowed softly in the sunlight. The alien girl stood at the edge, pointing to the valley below. Mara realized this was a new challenge. The valley was filled with natural obstacles, steep slopes, floating rock formations, and swirling currents of wind that could easily knock someone off balance. But it was also beautiful, filled with colors and light, unlike anything on Earth. The alien girl gestured again, clearly indicating that Mara should navigate the valley. It was a test of courage, balance, and quick thinking. Mara took a deep breath and stepped forward. Each step was deliberate. She jumped from rock to rock, sliding along smooth surfaces, balancing on narrow ledges. The wind tried to push her off course, but she adjusted her weight and movements. All the while, the alien girl followed, observing, testing, and occasionally showing Mara a faster or safer route. By the time Mara reached the other side of the valley, her heart was racing, but she felt exhilarated. The alien girl waited, arms folded, eyes bright with approval. Mara offered a bow, a gesture of respect. The alien girl bowed back, acknowledging not just her skill, but her determination and courage. Back on the horizon, Daniel smiled at the monitors. This is what I hoped for. Humanity meets a challenge, adapts, and earns respect, not by force, but by intelligence and courage. Mara's doing exactly what we teach our soldiers. Think, observe, act with purpose. Mara rested for a moment, catching her breath. She had learned something valuable. This alien was not an enemy, but a teacher of sorts. A being who could test humans in ways no training or technology could prepare them for. She felt excitement for what was next. The alien girl then led Mara to a small plateau overlooking a river of liquid crystal. The shimmering surface reflected the sunlight in brilliant colors. The alien gestured to the river and then to Mara, indicating that she should attempt to cross it. Mara studied the river. The current looked strong, and the surface was slick. One wrong move could lead to a fall or worse. But she remembered her training and the lessons she had learned in the canyon and valley. This was another test: observation, timing, and courage. She found a series of rocks rising from the river, forming a natural path. Step by step, she moved carefully, testing each rock for stability. The alien girl followed, moving with grace and precision, sometimes altering her path slightly to challenge Mara's choices. Halfway across, a strong gust of wind pushed Mara slightly off balance. She adjusted quickly, planting her feet firmly and using her arms for counterbalance. The alien girl paused, watching intently, then nodded as if approving Mara's quick thinking and composure. When Mara finally reached the opposite bank, she breathed a sigh of relief. The alien girl approached, placing a hand near her own chest in a gesture Mara interpreted as respect. Mara responded with the same gesture, feeling a growing bond between them. Daniel's voice came through again. "Excellent work, Mara. You've earned more than just respect. You've shown the essence of humanity, courage, intelligence, and the will to face challenges head-on." Mara smiled. "Sir, I think she's testing more than skill now. She's testing our character, and I think she's impressed." The alien girl then did something unexpected. She picked up another crystal from the ground and handed it to Mara. This one glowed brighter than the first, pulsing rhythmically. Mara took it carefully, feeling a sense of honor. It was a gift, but also a symbol of trust, a bridge between species. As Mara prepared to return to the horizon, the alien girl looked back at the valley, then at Mara, eyes filled with curiosity and excitement. It was clear that this was not the end of their interactions. This was only the beginning of a friendship or rivalry that would shape the future of human and alien relations. Back aboard the ship, Daniel debriefed Mara. "You've done more than survive a challenge," he said. "You've proven humanity's ability to meet the unknown with skill, courage, and respect. That is what makes us formidable, not just our technology, but our spirit." Mara nodded. "I understand, sir, and I think she wants us to continue proving ourselves. This alien girl, she's remarkable. I want to learn more from her, and I think she wants the same." Daniel allowed himself a small smile. Humanity had met the unexpected, faced the unknown, and come out stronger. And as the stars stretched endlessly overhead, he knew that the future held many more challenges and many more opportunities for humans to show their true strength. and somewhere on that distant planet, the alien girl watched the horizon sail back into orbit. Her eyes sparkled with anticipation. The humans had passed her first tests. But she knew there was more to discover and more to challenge, and she was ready. The following morning, the sun rose over the jagged peaks of the alien planet, painting the sky in shades of gold and violet. Captain Daniel Rains stood on the bridge of the horizon, watching Mara prepare for another drop. This time, there was no test of speed or agility. The alien girl had led them towards something new, something hidden deep in the planet's northern region. "Captain," Mara said over the communicator, her voice calm but filled with anticipation. "She's waiting at the base of a mountain range. The readings show unusual energy patterns. I think she wants me to follow her, but it might be dangerous." Daniel nodded. "Mara, remember your training. Observe everything. We don't know what's ahead, but humanity thrives on challenges. Learn, adapt, and stay safe. That's what makes us strong." The drop pod descended through the thin atmosphere, landing smoothly near a cluster of towering mountains. Mara stepped out, her boots crunching on the rocky surface. The alien girl was already there, waiting, eyes bright with intensity. She gestured for Mara to follow, moving swiftly toward a narrow canyon hidden between two peaks. Mara followed cautiously, noting the unusual energy readings the ship's sensors had detected. The canyon walls were high, carved with natural patterns that glowed faintly in the sunlight. The air was warm and carried a strange, metallic scent. It was unlike any environment Mara had encountered. As they walked, the alien girl stopped suddenly, turning to face Mara. She gestured to the canyon walls, where intricate carvings had formed over centuries. The shapes seemed to tell a story, images of strange creatures, humans in long-forgotten uniforms, and a glowing structure at the center of the carvings. Mara studied them carefully. "Captain," she said over the communicator, "these carvings, they tell a story. Something about the planet, maybe even about the aliens themselves. It looks ancient. And that structure? I think it's a temple." Daniel's eyes widened at the monitors. "A temple? Mara, this could be an incredible discovery. Proceed carefully. These carvings might contain warnings or instructions." The alien girl seemed to understand Mara's thoughts without words. She led her deeper into the canyon, where the walls opened to reveal a massive stone temple, partially hidden by the terrain. Vines of glowing plants twisted around the entrance, and crystals embedded in the rock reflected the sunlight like tiny stars. Mara's breath caught. "It's incredible," she whispered. "I've never seen anything like it." The alien girl approached the entrance, then gestured for Mara to follow inside. The air grew cooler and denser as they stepped into the temple. Faint, luminescent symbols glowed along the walls, forming a pattern that pulsed rhythmically. The alien girl's eyes scanned the symbols with a focused intensity, as if reading a language Mara could not yet understand. Mara stepped carefully, noticing the floor beneath her feet was smooth and polished, reflecting the glowing symbols. She reached out to touch one of the walls, and the symbols responded, lighting up brighter and casting moving shadows across the chamber. The alien girl nodded, signaling that Mara had understood part of the temple's purpose. It was not a place of violence, but of learning and discovery. The energy here seemed alive, as if the temple itself was aware of their presence. As they moved deeper, Mara noticed a large chamber ahead. In the center stood a pedestal, holding a crystal larger than any she had seen before. Its light was steady, almost like a heartbeat, casting a warm glow across the room. The alien girl approached it cautiously, then turned to Mara, gesturing for her to do the same. Mara stepped forward. As her hand hovered above the crystal, the symbols on the walls shifted, forming a pattern that seemed to resonate with her thoughts. The alien girl watched closely, her expression unreadable but intense. Mara realized that this temple was a test, not of speed or agility, but of understanding and perception. She focused, studying the patterns, the energy, and the way the light moved across the walls. Slowly, she touched the crystal. A wave of warmth spread through her body, and the symbols on the walls rearranged themselves, forming new patterns. Mara understood in that moment that the temple was communicating with her, not through words, but through energy and light. The alien girl stepped closer, mirroring Mara's gestures, as if to show approval. Together, they traced the patterns, aligning the energy flows and unlocking a hidden passage that led further into the temple. The air grew warmer and brighter as they moved, and Mara felt a sense of awe and respect for the intelligence that had created this place. At the end of the passage, they entered a vast chamber filled with floating crystals. Each crystal emitted a soft hum, resonating with the others in a harmonious pattern. The alien girl gestured to the crystals, then to Mara, indicating that she should attempt to activate them in the correct sequence. Mara studied the crystals carefully. Each one had a slightly different tone, and the patterns on the walls seemed to hint at the correct order. She moved deliberately, touching one crystal at a time, listening to its hum, and adjusting her approach based on the resonance. The alien girl observed silently, occasionally guiding Mara with subtle gestures. Mara realized that the test was not just about precision, but about attention, patience, and understanding. Humanity had survived in the galaxy by observing, learning, and adapting. This was exactly the kind of challenge that showcased the human spirit. Finally, after several attempts, Mara activated the last crystal. A brilliant light filled the chamber, and the floating crystals formed a pattern above their heads, casting beams of light that connected in a web of energy. The alien girl tilted her head, eyes wide with approval, then extended a hand to Mara. Mara took it, feeling a surge of triumph. This was more than a victory in a test. It was a bond forming through understanding and shared effort. The alien girl's eyes gleamed with respect, and Mara felt a connection that went beyond species or language. Daniel watched from the horizon, a proud smile on his face. "This is what I hoped for," he said. "Mara is showing her courage, intelligence, and determination. Humanity always finds a way, and she's proving it." The alien girl then moved toward a section of the chamber Mara had not noticed before. She gestured for Mara to follow, revealing a hidden alcove filled with ancient technology. Small devices hovered in the air, pulsing with energy. The alien girl touched one, and holographic images appeared, depicting galaxies, star systems, and civilizations long forgotten. Mara realized the importance of this discovery. The alien girl was showing her a history of the galaxy, knowledge that could help humanity navigate the stars and understand the civilizations they might encounter. It was a gift, but also a responsibility. "This temple," Mara said over the communicator, "it's not just a test. It's a library, a record of knowledge. She's showing us that she trusts us to learn and use it wisely." Daniel's voice was firm but proud. "Remember, Mara, humanity's strength is not just in our weapons or technology. It's in our curiosity, intelligence, and the ability to respect what we discover. Use this knowledge carefully." The alien girl gestured for Mara to take a closer look at one of the hovering devices. It displayed information about the planet's ecosystems, energy sources, and unique flora and fauna. Mara studied it carefully, realizing that this knowledge could be invaluable for future missions. As the day passed, Mara and the alien girl continued to explore the temple together, learning from each other and forming a bond of mutual respect. Each challenge inside the temple was designed to teach, to test, and to inspire. Mara felt exhilarated, knowing that humanity had encountered not just a remarkable being, but a partner in understanding the galaxy. By the time the sun began to set, casting long shadows across the temple's walls, Mara knew it was time to return to the horizon. She looked at the alien girl, who nodded solemnly, as if acknowledging the partnership they had formed. Mara offered a hand in farewell, and the alien girl mirrored the gesture. Back on the ship, Daniel debriefed Mara. "You've done more than navigate a temple," he said. "You've earned trust, respect, and knowledge. Humanity is stronger because of encounters like this, and we've shown once again that courage, intelligence, and honor define us." Mara smiled, holding the crystal the alien girl had given her. "Sir, I think she wants us to continue proving ourselves. This is just the beginning of what we can learn together." Daniel nodded, looking out at the stars. Humanity had faced the unknown and had emerged wiser, stronger, and more prepared for the challenges ahead. And somewhere on that distant planet, the alien girl watched the horizon, ready to guide humanity further, testing them, teaching them, and forming a bond that would last across the stars. The sun had barely risen over the alien planet when Captain Daniel Rains of the Horizon noticed unusual readings on the ship's sensors. Energy fluctuations from the northern region near the temple Mara had explored were rising rapidly. "Mara," Daniel said over the communicator, his voice calm but firm. "We're detecting strong energy spikes near the temple. Proceed with caution. Something is happening that may require immediate action." Mara, already suited and ready, replied, "Understood, sir. I'll check it out. The alien girl is waiting for me at the canyon entrance. I think she knows more about what's going on." The drop pod descended smoothly, landing near the canyon where the alien girl had first guided Mara. As the hatch opened, Mara stepped onto the rocky terrain, her boots crunching softly against the alien soil. The alien girl was waiting, eyes bright but alert, scanning the valley with heightened focus. Mara approached cautiously. "Captain, something feels different today," she said, her voice carrying a mix of curiosity and caution. "The energy readings are stronger. I think whatever is happening in the temple is spreading." The alien girl glanced at Mara, then gestured toward a darkened section of the valley below. Shadowy forms were moving through the mist. Barely visible, yet their presence was unmistakable. Mara felt a shiver of unease. These were not creatures she had seen before. They moved with stealth, their forms blurred and swift. "They're approaching the temple," Mara said, alerting Daniel. "I don't think they mean to communicate. They might be hostile." Daniel's expression hardened. "Stay calm, Mara. Observe, adapt, and act. Humanity faces threats often, and we survive because we use intelligence, skill, and courage. Don't engage recklessly. Let the alien girl guide you." The alien girl signaled Mara to follow closely as they descended into the valley. The shadowy forms were moving quickly, and the valley's natural obstacles gave Mara and her companion limited visibility. She realized that this was a test, not just of skill, but of strategy and teamwork. The alien girl paused near a cluster of glowing rocks and gestured for Mara to observe the shadows from cover. Mara crouched behind the rocks, watching as the forms approached the temple. They were sleek and fast, their movements precise, like predators adapted to hunt in this environment. "They're not attacking yet," Mara whispered. "They're evaluating or waiting." The alien girl nodded, then stepped forward carefully, using gestures to direct Mara. Together they moved silently, using the terrain to conceal themselves while tracking the shadowy figures. Mara noticed patterns in their movements, flashes of light from their eyes, faint vibrations in the ground. Observation would be key. Suddenly, one of the forms spotted movement near the temple. It let out a low, resonating sound, alerting the others. Mara realized that a confrontation was inevitable. The alien girl signaled for Mara to prepare. Mara took a deep breath, steadying herself. She had faced challenges before, but this was different. These were intelligent beings, likely territorial, and they were moving in a coordinated way. She could not rely on speed or strength alone. Strategy was critical. The alien girl stepped forward, raising her hands. Light emitted from her skin, a shimmering energy that formed a barrier between them and the approaching shadows. The creatures hesitated, sensing the power. Mara understood immediately. The alien girl was using an ability that controlled energy flows, a defensive technique learned through centuries of evolution on this planet. Mara mirrored the movement, using her own energy stabilizers in her suit to enhance her presence. Together, they created a protective zone, forcing the shadowy forms to stop and reconsider their approach. It was a delicate balance of defense and observation, each movement calculated. One of the shadows lunged forward suddenly, testing the barrier. The alien girl reacted instantly, channeling energy to deflect the attack. Mara followed suit, adjusting her stance to maintain the protective perimeter. The creatures were fast, but Mara's training allowed her to anticipate their movements. The alien girl moved with grace, guiding Mara's reactions through subtle gestures. As the battle continued, Mara realized that the creatures were not inherently evil. They were defending something, likely the temple itself or the surrounding valley. Their aggression was a response to intruders, not a desire for harm. This insight changed her strategy. "Captain," Mara said over the communicator, "these creatures are protecting the temple. They aren't attacking for the sake of it. If we approach carefully, we can show them we mean no harm." Daniel's voice was firm but encouraging. "Good thinking, Mara. Use observation and communication first. Force should be the last resort. Humanity survives by understanding threats, not just fighting them." Mara nodded, signaling to the alien girl. Together they stepped forward cautiously, maintaining the energy barrier while moving toward the shadowy figures. The creatures circled, watching their approach, unsure whether to attack or retreat. Mara slowed her pace, keeping her movements deliberate and non-threatening. The alien girl extended a hand, then gestured toward Mara, inviting her to do the same. Mara mirrored the action, moving slowly and confidently. The creatures hesitated, sensing the lack of aggression. It was a delicate moment of trust, where patience and understanding mattered more than speed or strength. Gradually, the creatures stopped their advance, allowing Mara and the alien girl to approach closer to the temple. The energy reading stabilized, indicating that the immediate threat had been neutralized through observation and respect rather than combat. Mara exhaled slowly, feeling relief and pride. "Captain, we've managed to hold them off without fighting. They're allowing us to proceed. For now." Daniel's voice carried a note of admiration. "Excellent work, Mara. That's exactly the kind of thinking that defines humanity, using intelligence, patience, and empathy to face danger." The alien girl led Mara into the temple once more, toward the chamber of floating crystals. The crystals glowed brighter than before, pulsing rhythmically in response to the energy fluctuations from the valley. Mara realized that the shadowy creatures had been reacting to the energy emitted by the temple, and that balance was essential to maintain peace. Together, Mara and the alien girl adjusted the energy flows within the chamber. Mara touched the crystals carefully, following the patterns that the alien girl demonstrated. Light and energy spread through the temple, stabilizing the readings and calming the creatures outside. The shadowy forms retreated into the mist, their movements slower and more cautious, indicating that the immediate threat had passed. Mara understood that cooperation with the alien girl, rather than confrontation, had resolved the situation. As they exited the temple, Mara looked at the valley below. The creatures were observing them from a distance, curious but no longer aggressive. Mara felt a sense of accomplishment. Humanity had faced a real challenge and succeeded not through force, but through intelligence, adaptability, and understanding. The alien girl approached Mara, placing a hand near her chest in a gesture of respect and acknowledgement. Mara mirrored the gesture, feeling the deep connection between them. It was more than mutual respect. It was recognition of shared courage and ingenuity. Daniel's voice over the communicator was proud. Mara, you've done more than navigate a challenge or a temple. You've proven that humanity can meet danger with skill, empathy, and intelligence. That is why humans are remarkable in the galaxy. Mara smiled. Sir, I understand now. The alien girl isn't just testing our abilities. She's testing our character, and I think she respects what she sees. The alien girl then led Mara to a secluded plateau overlooking the valley. From this vantage point, Mara could see the creatures moving peacefully in the distance. Their energy harmonized with the temple. The alien girl gestured toward the horizon, signaling that there were more discoveries and challenges ahead. Mara looked out over the landscape, understanding that this planet held secrets beyond imagination, challenges that could test humanity in ways no technology or training could prepare them for. But she also knew that with courage, intelligence, and the guidance of the alien girl, they could face anything. As the sun set, casting long shadows across the valley, Mara returned to the drop pod. She carried with her a deeper understanding of humanity's strengths and the bond she was forming with the alien girl. The horizon awaited her in orbit, and Daniel's pride was evident on the bridge. Captain, Mara said over the communicator, we've stabilized the temple and the valley. The creatures are no longer a threat. The alien girl, she's remarkable, and I think she wants us to continue learning together. Daniel nodded, his eyes on the stars. This is exactly the kind of encounter that defines humanity. Courage, intelligence, adaptability. These are what make us strong. And Mara, you've shown all of them today. Somewhere in the valley, the alien girl watched the horizon and the departing drop pod. Her eyes sparkled with anticipation. Humanity had proven its courage and intelligence, and she knew that the challenges ahead would only grow more complex. But she was ready, and so were they. The stars stretched endlessly above, and the future awaited, full of mysteries, tests, and opportunities for humans to demonstrate the very best of their spirit. The stars shone brightly over the alien planet as the horizon orbited quietly above. Captain Daniel Rains watched the readings from the northern region where Mara had faced her most recent challenge. For days, humanity had proven its courage, intelligence, and adaptability. But Daniel knew that the final test, the ultimate measure of human spirit, was still ahead. Mara, he said over the communicator, your reports show that the temple and the valley are stable, but there's still an energy pattern building farther north. It's stronger than anything we've seen on this planet. Be careful. I understand, sir, Mara replied, checking her suit systems and energy stabilizers. I'm ready. The alien girl is waiting for me at the cliff above the river of crystals. I think she wants to guide me through the final challenge. The drop pod descended once more, gliding smoothly to the planet's surface. Mara stepped out, greeted by the alien girl's familiar presence. Her eyes were intense, filled with purpose, as she pointed toward a distant plateau surrounded by jagged rocks and glowing energy fields. This is it, Mara thought. The final test. The alien girl led the way, moving swiftly but carefully over uneven terrain. Mara followed, noting the unique energy flows surrounding the plateau. The air itself seemed charged, vibrating slightly underfoot. As they approached, Mara realized that this challenge would test not just skill or intelligence, but courage, teamwork, and the ability to think under pressure. From the plateau, Mara could see the source of the energy, a massive crystal formation rising from the ground like a monument. Its light pulsed with intensity, sending waves of energy across the surrounding valley. The shadowy creatures from before had gathered near the edges, observing but not interfering. The alien girl gestured to Mara, then touched the base of the largest crystal. A harmonic resonance filled the air, and the valley seemed to respond, vibrating in harmony with the energy. Mara understood immediately. This was a test of coordination, balance, and timing. She would have to match the energy flows perfectly or risk destabilizing the formation. Mara stepped forward. Placing her hands on the crystal, she focused on the rhythm of the pulses, adjusting her breathing to match the vibrations. The alien girl mirrored her movements, eyes closed, concentrating. Together, they began to guide the energy, aligning the resonance patterns across the crystal formation. The energy pulses grew stronger, testing Mara's endurance and focus. A single misstep could disrupt the flow, potentially releasing unstable energy into the valley. She concentrated, recalling every lesson the alien girl had taught her, from speed and agility to observation, patience, and understanding. Humanity had survived countless challenges in the galaxy by thinking carefully and adapting quickly. This was no different. Minutes passed as they synchronized with the crystal's energy. Mara noticed slight fluctuations and adjusted her stance. The alien girl responded with subtle movements, guiding Mara without words. Slowly, a harmonious pattern emerged. The crystals glowed steadily, radiating balanced energy across the plateau. The shadowy creatures watched intently, sensing the stabilization. Their movements became calmer, less cautious, and they appeared to acknowledge the human's achievement. Mara realized that this was not just a test of strength, but of respect, communication, and unity. Finally, the largest crystal emitted a brilliant pulse of light, and the energy waves settled into a steady rhythm. Mara and the alien girl stepped back, hands still raised, and smiled at each other. The challenge was complete. Daniel's voice came through the communicator, filled with pride. "Mara, congratulations! You've demonstrated humanity's greatest strengths: courage, intelligence, adaptability, and the ability to work together under pressure. That's what sets humans apart in the galaxy." Mara exhaled, feeling a surge of accomplishment. "Sir, it wasn't just me. The alien girl guided me every step of the way, and the creatures, they weren't enemies. They were part of the test, too. Humanity succeeds when we understand and respect the unknown." The alien girl stepped closer to Mara, placing a hand on her shoulder. It was a gesture of friendship and acknowledgement, transcending language or species. Mara returned the gesture, feeling the connection between them deepen. With the final challenge complete, Mara and the alien girl explored the plateau, discovering additional crystals and energy formations. Each one contained knowledge, information about the planet, its ecosystems, and the civilizations that had existed there long before humans arrived. The alien girl shared what she could, guiding Mara through the patterns and sequences that controlled the energy. As the day progressed, Mara realized that this planet was a library of knowledge and experience. Humanity had been invited to learn and contribute, and they had done so successfully. The alien girl's challenges had tested more than skill. They had tested character, intelligence, and the human spirit itself. Mara transmitted her findings to the horizon, and Daniel listened closely. "Excellent work, Mara. Humanity has shown that we can meet unknown challenges with courage, intelligence, and respect. This encounter will be remembered as a milestone in our exploration of the galaxy." The alien girl then led Mara to the edge of the plateau, where the river of liquid crystals flowed below. From this vantage point, Mara could see the full valley, the stabilized crystals, and the shadowy creatures moving peacefully among the rocks. The alien girl gestured toward the horizon, then to Mara, indicating that their journey together was only beginning. Mara smiled, understanding the meaning. The challenges they had faced were tests of skill, intelligence, and courage, but they also represented the start of a partnership. Humanity had earned the trust of a remarkable being, and together they could explore the galaxy in ways neither could achieve alone. As Mara prepared to return to the drop pod, the alien girl placed a small, glowing crystal in her hand, a token of friendship, trust, and achievement. Mara held it carefully, knowing it symbolized more than just completion of a challenge. It represented unity, cooperation, and the strength of the human spirit. Back aboard the Horizon, Daniel greeted Mara as she emerged from the drop pod. "You've done more than survive tests or complete challenges," he said. "You've demonstrated what it means to be human: courage, intelligence, adaptability, and the ability to connect with the unknown. Humanity is stronger for this encounter." Mara nodded, holding the crystal carefully. "Sir, the alien girl, she's incredible. She tested us, guided us, and taught us. I think she sees humanity's potential, and I hope we can continue learning from each other." Daniel smiled, looking out at the stars. "We will, Mara. Humanity faces the unknown with courage and curiosity, and that is why we endure. This is only the beginning. There will be more challenges, more discoveries, and more opportunities to show the universe what humans are capable of." As the Horizon prepared to leave orbit, Mara glanced back at the alien planet. The alien girl stood on the plateau, watching the ship depart, her eyes filled with curiosity and respect. Mara knew that this was not the end, but the start of a long and remarkable journey, one where humans and alien beings could face challenges together, learn from each other, and grow stronger as allies. The stars stretched endlessly above, and humanity had once again proven its worth. The human spirit, brave, intelligent, and adaptable, shone brightly among the galaxies, and somewhere on that distant planet the alien girl smiled, ready to guide humanity into the future, confident that together they could face any challenge the universe might present. For Daniel, Mara, and the crew of the Horizon, the mission had achieved more than exploration. It had shown the very best of humanity: courage in the face of the unknown, intelligence to solve complex challenges, adaptability to survive and thrive, and the ability to build connections across species. And as the ship sailed away into the glittering sea of stars, Mara held the glowing crystal close, a reminder of the partnership they had forged and the adventures yet to come. Humanity had faced the ultimate test and had succeeded, proving once again that humans were capable of greatness. The galaxy awaited, full of mysteries, challenges, and opportunities, and humanity would meet them all with courage, intelligence, and the unbreakable spirit that defined them.